All right. Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for another edition of Great Albums, where I go over a series of records that in the past month I reviewed very positively, and I remind all of you that they're good. Maybe they slipped through the cracks for you. Let's go! Links to hear music and watch reviews for the records that I'm mentioning here are down below in the description box. One, Andrew WK's new record, You're Not Alone, great comeback album from the post-ironic hard rock folk hero who on this record has essentially made a self-help arena rock album, an inspirational, motivational, passionate, and very well-written, like operatic rock experience. It's grand, it's epic, it's exciting. I love the fist-pumping riffs on this thing, the sing-along choruses that just kind of light up my soul and make me feel like, you know, really positive, really positive. Next, really digging on the new Voidz album, Virtue. It's kind of all over the place. It's a little messy, but still, it's a very eclectic, off the beaten path, kind of nutso, very fringe art rock, art pop record, kind of experimental, a little distorted, a little weird, kind of feels like Julian Casablancas and company are throwing in everything but the kitchen sink on some of these tracks. Some experiments don't go over quite as well as others, but there are way more hits than misses on this thing. I just love the catchy tracks, the fun, wonky production, and just generally how versatile and schizophrenic in a way the album is. After that, digging on the new Judas Priest album, Firepower. Not too much to say about this record outside of it's just a great heavy metal album with a wonderfully classic sound that has a thick, modern punch to it. Judas Priest, I mean, this isn't the first late era album they've dropped that was great, but it's been their first in a while. And I don't know, they just kind of came back, great songs, full throttle riffs, dueling guitar solos. Rob Halford's voice sounds better than ever, and just thoroughly impressed with how consistent and exciting of a heavy metal record this is. So Judas Priest, Firepower, it's really good. And Avant Hausswolff with Dead Magic. This is one of the more obtuse records in this video. Organist on Avant Hausswolff comes through with some of her headiest and most cerebral and long-winded and dark and tortured songs yet. Mixes of experimental rock and post-rock and classical music, all kind of mixing into this gothic and dreary sound, where you have 5 or so tracks that kind of come together like a tapestry, like a seamless musical piece in a way with different phases. Again, it's very dark, it's very dreary, and it's very odd. If you like your singer-songwriters, you like your composers to, I guess, just be on that more alternative tip, then you're going to want to give this a listen. And finally, in this video, I want to mention Natalia Lafourcade, the Mexican pop and folk singer, coming through with Musas Volume 2, which is just a wonderful tribute to numerous styles of Latin folk music, wonderful sort of revisions of some great older tracks on this record, along with a few originals here and there. Good vocal performances, wonderful dual guitar playing on this thing, some great extra instrumentation as well, like percussion and bass and so on and so forth. I just kind of love the romance, the passion of this record, and the foreign flavor of it is exhilarating. And how could I forget Jack White? Jack White with the Boarding House Reach. Oh, this album is so funky, it blends so many genres together with the hard rock and garage stylings that we typically expect from Jack White, elements of funk and experimental rock and electronic music as well. And it all comes together in such an eclectic and fun and entertaining way. It's a very experimental album. Sure, not the most experimental record that we've ever heard in our entire lives, but I like the fact that Jack successfully finds a balance between making a record that's sort of fringe, it's off the beaten path, but there's a note of accessibility to it. It's an entertaining and exciting, a blood-pumping album. It's not just like this weird, indulgent, and difficult to make heads or tails of musical experience. It's weird, but it's a fun kind of weird. It's an adventurous kind of weird. It's an adventurous odd odyssey. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Those were the records that I wanted to mention in this round. You're the best. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Remember, links to everything that you need to see and hear are down below in the description box. And hopefully you guys dug some of these records if you haven't tried them already. All right. Mwah. Transition. Have you given these albums a listen? Did you love them? Did you hate them? What would you rate them? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe. And please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head are some other great albums videos, along with a link to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano. Forever.